Today I'm talking about Diwali, and I'll explain that. But have you ever felt like you were in the darkness, like you were in the emptiness, in the void? Some of you maybe have studied Joseph Campbell, who talks about the hero's journey. And on the hero's journey, you start on this adventure in life, but eventually it winds around to a place called the abyss, to this dark space where you're thinking, something's wrong here. I thought everything was supposed to be rainbows and unicorns. Something seems dark and empty and difficult. Sometimes we think that we've missed the way when we encounter difficult times. Sometimes we think that somehow I'm losing out spiritually. I thought I had this together, but I'm experiencing these feelings that, don't feel so good and feel empty. Maybe there's relationship challenges. Maybe there's challenges where you're living. Maybe there's challenges inside that you just can't describe. Have you been there? Yeah. And sometimes when I'm there, I don't want to go to church. Because I think, I'm in this kind of dark space, and how am I going to show up at church? How are you doing? Well, I'm in the void. I'm in the darkness. I am in the goo. Do you know about being in the goo? Like a caterpillar. A caterpillar is crawling around, just minding their own business, eating leaves, having a great time with the other caterpillars. And then something begins to happen. It's like something inside them says, it's time to change this up. And it's like, no. I'm happy as a caterpillar. I'm happy crawling on the ground. I'm happy crawling up the branches. I'm happy eating the leaves. What do you mean there's something else for me to do? What is this inner impulse? Is it my imagination? Have I been watching TV too much? I don't know if caterpillars watch TV. And they climb up this branch and they build this cocoon-like structure, a chrysalis. And in that, their body begins to dissolve into a gelatinous goo. Have you ever been in the goo? Individually, we go through the goo. Spiritual communities go through the goo. Countries go through the goo. I think the world is in the goo. And sometimes we think, it's a mistake. Something's wrong. We've got to fix it. We've got to go back to being the caterpillar. But if we will just take a deep breath and recognize the goo is here to reveal something new, is here to emerge as something new. So this is what happens. The caterpillar's defense system, what do you call that? Immune system. The caterpillar's immune system begins to attack what's going on, but eventually the goo takes over, and in the goo are the imaginal cells, the image and likeness of a butterfly are present in the imaginal cells of the goo. If you're in the goo, it's because something greater is about to transpire. It means something greater is about to emerge, but it can't emerge without going through the goo. So please repeat after me. Online and in person. If you wish, place your hand over your heart if you want to, and repeat after me. I embrace the goo.
I
The goo is the way to new birth. Sometimes people who are retiring come to me and say, Reverend Tim, I've been busy my whole life. I've been working since I was 14. I've had a constant schedule, and now that I'm retiring, I don't know what to do. I'll tell you what you do. You embrace the goo. You embrace the goo to see what new is wanting to emerge. Right? So, sometimes people's relationships end. And they'll say, I'm in the goo. Good. Embrace the goo so the new can emerge. Now, Diwali, and know that unity has its roots, and we use the scriptures, Christian scriptures, Hebrew scriptures, and we embrace all the different ways in which God shows up in our world. Diwali is this ceremony, this celebration, this practice that is celebrated all over the world, particularly in India, Nepal, other places. And Diwali is this celebration of light, being the light. Did you know that darkness is simply the absence of light? Darkness in and of itself is not an entity. Darkness in and of itself, you could almost say, doesn't have reality. Light does. That's why if you are in a very dark room, like when I get up early in the morning, it's all dark, and I turn on a little light, and that little light, wow, you can see it anywhere in this huge dark room. How can a little light be so much more powerful than all the darkness in that big room? It's because the light has reality. The light has, now this is a scientific debate. Do we have any physicists here? Okay, right over there. Thank you. All right. So there's an ongoing debate. Is light a wave or a particle? It contains properties of both. It's this amazing stuff that's all around us. We are that light. I'd like to go to this scripture from Matthew chapter 5. I believe we have that slide. Here it comes. So Matthew chapter 5. And you, beloved, are the light of the world. Isn't that an audacious statement? Think about that. Jesus, 2,000 years ago, said, you are the light of the world. A city built on a hilltop cannot be hidden. Similarly, it would be silly to light a lamp and then hide it under a bowl. Wouldn't that be silly? I mean, why would you light a lamp and then put it under a bowl? When someone lights a lamp, she puts it on a table or a desk or a chair, and the light illuminates the entire house. You are like that illuminating light. Let your light shine everywhere you go, that you may illumine creation, so men and women everywhere may see your good actions, may see creation at its fullest, may see your devotion to me, and may turn and praise your Father in heaven because of it. And this comes from a translation called The Voice. The Voice is a Bible translation put together by Bible scholars and artists, drama type leaders. So they put it into a drama type thing. Jesus says, you are the light. In Diwali, we light lamps and people celebrate by going to each other's homes We have a daughter, Hanai daughter, that is from Nepal. And so they practice Diwali. So they go to homes and they get, a special anointing from each of the family members, and they exchange gifts. It's a time of celebrating the light, the victory of light over darkness. But if you're like me, I question at times, why is there so much darkness? If we're shining our light, why is there so much darkness in the world? As I alluded to in my prayer, Nigeria, and I have some very dear friends in Nigeria. Outside of the United States, the unity movement has its biggest number of churches and number of people in Nigeria. And so as the chair of the International Advisory Council for Unity Worldwide Ministries, I work with a lot of international ministers and churches. It hurts my heart when I see that 2 million people are displaced in Nigeria. That 75% of their states have been flooded. Now, if this was in the United States, that'd be big news, wouldn't it? If 75% of the states in the United States were underwater, we'd hear about it, wouldn't we? But you hardly hear about this on the news. Yet we're all one, and we know that where they are, God is, and we are all one in this. So I ask myself, because I have my dark nights of the soul, I have those Søren Kierkegaard moments. If you don't know about Søren Kierkegaard, he was a 17th century Danish philosopher. I have those moments where it's like, what is going on here? Where's the light? Where's the good news? The angels announcing that peace on earth and goodwill to all people when Jesus was being born 2,000 years ago. And it's like, well, where's the peace? Where's the goodwill? Where is all this? Where are you, God? I have these questions. Where are you, God? Is there a God? Is it just us? Are we just flying on a mud ball in space and we're on our own? I can push this envelope a long ways, but I don't want you to be pulling your Zoloft out during this service. I just want you to know that it's okay to question. It's okay to feel what you feel. We can be real. We can be authentic. Yesterday, I was having one of these dark times. And it's okay. I just embrace it. I embrace the goo. It's like just feeling kind of empty in the void. It's part of being human. I just felt it, and I just let myself feel it. And I faced a moment of decision. What do I do with this? Do I go out and do I just try to spread this feeling to others? I made a decision, and it's a conscious decision that I make every single day, that I'm going to be the light. That no matter who I encounter, no matter how I feel, no matter what I'm going through, I'm going to be the light, knowing I am the light of God, knowing I am the presence of God. That instead of me whining and acting like a victim, why doesn't somebody do something? I realize that I and you are here to be that light. Instead of waiting for somebody to do something, we are the somebody we're waiting for. We are the somebody that we're looking for. We are that light. If there's darkness in our world, guess what we're here to do? Shine our light. That's what we're here to do. Shine our light. You may wonder, well, how do I shine my light? Being authentic, being your higher self, being what you really are. Not your shadow side, not your fears, your anxiety, your anger, although you can embrace all that and recognize that. But being what you are really here to be. Being that presence of God. Being the light. Regardless of how dark it might look. So, I just did that. I went to one of my other churches, Starbucks. Tina and team, thank you. I was there at Starbucks early this morning getting a hot chocolate and saw my friend Tina. She had on her warrior shirt. Gave each other a hug. And she was, the video, from last week's message where I talked about the two Tinas. Talked about Tina at Starbucks and Tina here. She had she had watched it twice. And while I was in there, there was another employee looking at the phone, watching something, and she came over to me and said, "She's watching the video too." I shared the video with her. You see how the light spreads? Instead of waiting for others to do it, be that light. And sometimes we have a rough time. That's what we're about here. We're here to support each other. We're here to be community. We're here to support each other in being that light. Not criticize each other for when we're feeling down. This is more like an emergency room than a community, than a country club. Because we come in with our stuff, right? And I've worked in emergency rooms a lot. For over 28 years, I worked in emergency rooms. You see all kinds of stuff. But we're here to hold that light with each other. So in Diwali, as people are lighting the light, they're reminding themselves, reminding each other of that light. And typically they shine that light, that lamp, in the dark. Now, corresponding with this is a month called Kartik. How many people here have ever heard of the month of Kartik? Okay, Gita has. I was hoping that Gita would have. And Sunny, have you heard of Kartik? No? Okay, let me tell you about Kartik. Sunny is full Indian and Gita is half Indian. And Kartik is a month of the year. Surprise, surprise, not everyone follows the calendar that we use. Okay? We came up with this solar calendar, and we're in the month of October. But for many people in the world, they are in different months. And they don't exactly correspond to our months because they're lunar calendars. So Kartik is this month where every night, and if we could pop up this next picture, thank you. Oh, is there a picture before this, Debbie? Or one after it? Oh, is it? Okay, is there a little picture of little toddler Krishna with his mother? All right, that didn't get in here. Okay, so in Kartik, there's every night of the month, there are lamps shared with this little toddler Krishna. Krishna was this ornery little guy. He was ornery. You know, he broke into the clay pots and he would get out the butter and he would get out the yogurt, and Mother Yasoda was so upset with him. And so I am Christian. I'm also a Krishna devotee. And so every night we surround with light this little toddler, Krishna, and we do it in the dark. And it's in this time of Diwali and Kartik. And it's like shining this light. And what I begin to experience is so much love, which is called prema. That's the Sanskrit word, pure love. Sometimes when we're in the dark, what we need to do is light our light and feel our love. Light our light and feel our love. Instead of cursing the darkness, light your lamp. Some of us were taught to hide our light. Tim, what are you doing thinking you can sing? Tim, what are you doing thinking you can play drums? Tim, what are you doing think you can speak in front of people? Tim, what are you doing thinking you can go to college? Do you have those voices in your head? Am I the only one? Okay. For a minute there, I felt isolated. And like that song that Don sang so beautifully, I am not the voices in my head. I am not the things that my family did. I am light. But some people taught us to try to cover it up. Don't be so out there. Tone it down a little bit. Oh, this is a very serious, quiet place. Can you tone it down? Can you dim your light a little bit? Don't you dare. If you take anything else away with you, take this. Don't turn down your light. Jesus came to teach us this, to be that light. Turn it up. Turn it up bright. You know, some people might go, whoa. That's all right. Their eyes will adjust. And then they will say, you know what? If they can shine their light, maybe I can too. And then we begin to build that light. And it builds momentum. Isn't that cool? So we are here to be bearers of that light. You are here to bring the light. Instead of cursing the darkness, turn on your light and don't hide it. I invite you to take a deep breath as we move into this time of meditation. You may close your eyes, you may keep your eyes open, relax your gaze, perhaps focus on one spot. But I invite you to tune in to this inner light, this light that you really are, this light that is the presence of God living as you. You are the light. It's not true because Jesus said it. Jesus said it because it's true. We are that light. Can you feel that? Feel that radiance, that light, that illumination within you. And let it spread to every aspect of your body. Let it fill your mind. Let your spirit open and soar with light as we go into a time of silent meditation. breathe in. We breathe in that light. We breathe out light. We are this presence of light. We are this presence of God to bring that light here on earth as it is in heaven.